In the news, Court of Appeal declares Valentine Ozigbo as the validly elected gubernatorial candidate of PDP in Anambra State. Deadly clashes between Libya's eastern and western factions in Tripoli shows no peace at sight. Police kill extremist who stabbed 6 people in a supermarket. Government says it is a terrorist attack. Details coming up shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and you're watching TOS News 360. Police in New Zealand on Friday shot and killed a knife-wielding extremist after he stabbed and wounded at least 6 people in an Auckland supermarket. New Zealand has been on alert for attacks since a white supremacist gunman killed 51 people at 2 mosques in the city of Christchurch on March 15, 2019. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern described the incident as a terrorist attack.
The terrorist is a Sri Lankan national who arrived in New Zealand in October of 2011. He became a person of national security interest from 2016. The detailed reasons he is known to the agencies is the subject of suppression orders made by the court.
The Court of Appeal Abuja Division has declared Valentine Ozigbo as the validly elected candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the November 6 governorship election in Anambra State. According to the unanimous judgment by Honorable Justice Monica Dongban Misim, the President of the Court of Appeal, the primary election which produced Ozigbo as a PDP candidate was conducted in line with the law and the party's guidelines. It also awarded a sum of 10 million naira in favor of Ozigbo. The Nigerian diplomatic missions in the United States have warned Nigerians about a fake website being used by scammers for passport registration. The Embassy and Consulate General of New York and Atlanta added that a fake website is being used to defraud unsuspecting Nigerians, directing them to make payments that are not authorized by the federal government. They urged applicants not in Nigeria to apply for new passport through the website of the embassies they intend to process their passport and channel all inquiries to the consulate. To news across Africa, fighting broke out in Tripoli early on Friday between rival armed forces. Witnesses said the heaviest clashes in the Libyan capital since the conflict between eastern and western factions paused a year ago. A resident of the Salah al-Din district in southern Tripoli said shooting began at about 2:30 a.m. and continued through the morning with medium and light weapons. There was no immediate report of casualties. Conflict in Tripoli between the armed groups who vie to control both territory and state institutions would further undermine the prospect of December elections as part of a plan to end a decade of chaos, violence and division. At least 30,000 people in the island nation of Madagascar have been pushed to level 5 of famine, the highest international recognized level of food insecurity according to the UN World Food Programme. It fears that the figure could rise dramatically. Drought effects have also led to agricultural losses of up to 60% in the most populated provinces. Madagascar produces 0.01% of the world's annual carbon emissions, but it is suffering some of the worst effects with unreliable rains and crop failures. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television, and you are watching TOS News 360. Global and business stories on return. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. On a global scene, Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga, in a surprise move on Friday, said he will not run for re-election as party leader this month, setting the stage for his replacement after just 1 year in office marred by an unpopular COVID-19 response and sinking public support. I want to focus on coronavirus response, so I told the Liberal Democratic Party executive meeting that I've decided not to run in the party leadership race, Suga told reporters, and he's also expected to stay on until his successor is chosen in the party election slated for September 29th. He said he would hold a news conference as early as next week. Taliban co-founder Mullah Baradar will lead a new Afghan government set to be announced shortly, sources in the Islamist group said on Friday, as the group faces domestic and international pressure to rule Afghanistan with greater tolerance, especially on women's rights. Barada, who heads the Taliban's political office, will be joined by Mullah Muhammad Yaqub, the son of late Taliban co-founder Mullah Omar, and Sherif Mohammed Abbas Stanekzai in senior positions in government, three sources said. While Haibatullah Akanzanda, the Taliban supreme religious leader, will focus on religious matters and governance within the framework of Islam. In business, after a sharp downturn in July amid civil unrest and COVID-19 lockdown measures, South African private sector activity stabilized in August, a survey showed on Friday, despite widespread supply chain issues. IHS Markit's Purchasing Managers Index rose to 49.9 in August from an 11-month low of 46.1 in July, just below the 50 points that separate expansion from contraction. This improvement was due to much softer falls in output, new orders, and inventories coupled with a renewed increase in headcount. The employment index rose to 50.8 from 49.2. The International Air Transport Association has identified far-reaching government-imposed travel restrictions as a major factor delaying recovery in international markets. The global airline body, which represents some 290 airlines comprising 82% of global air traffic, made this known in its latest passenger traffic report. IATA said that domestic traffic was back to 85% of the pre-crisis levels, but pointed out that international demand has only recovered just over a quarter of 2019 volumes. The world economy was disrupted in 2020 due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, which brought economic activities to a halt in most countries in Africa. According to data obtained from the World Bank, the sub-Saharan African economy declined by 2.45% in 2020 from $1.85 trillion, recorded in 2019, to $1.81 trillion. Also, the Middle East and North Africa region recorded a 3.66% contraction in its economy to an aggregate of $3.37 trillion. Nigeria's GDP per capita stood at $2,097.09 in 2020 to rank 17th on the list of African countries, representing a 6% decline compared to $2,229.86 recorded in the previous year. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African news network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs on the network. I am Merciful Ajinamo. Thanks for listening.
But we as a continent have now defined ourselves